Daniel Martel has known since the day Jack and Lilly disappeared that he was a suspect. He's been their stepfather for more than 2 years, living together in this trailer. Martel says that's why he has fully cooperated with police.
Everything from my phone, doing a polygraph exam, and just ask them to do.
Okay, he seems more confident now, right? Can you tell? I think Daniel is an open book. He's easy to read. Whenever you his facial expressions, everything sort of adjusts immediately to how he feels. He's doing in terms of his status as a suspect or a person of interest, and it's interesting to see how he's moving. Can you tell? Very different.
Here you go, search everything, just do everything you can for the kids, right?
Freshly unsealed court.
Yeah, it's for the kids, right? Okay, let's hear.
Documents detail how RCMP combed through bank records, phone data, and GPS locations. Investigators wanted to know the exact whereabouts of Martel and the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, in the days leading up to the children's disappearance, and cross-reference that information with the statements they gave to police. The documents reveal that as of July 16th, investigators did not believe the case was criminal. By that point, 6 polygraph tests had been done, including on both Brooks Murray and Martel. They were also done on Martel's mother, on Brooks Murray's mother and her partner, and on the children's biological father. Brooks Murray was given a polygraph in what police describe as an effort to eliminate her as a suspect in causing her children's disappearance and possible murder. She passed, and so did Martel.
They have full background checked as much as they could possibly do. And I mean, I'm pretty thankful for them to spend the time and spend the resources to try to.
Yeah, you're pretty thankful for them. But Jack and Lily are missing, right? So, what is there to be so thankful about? Just looking at this guy, man. Yeah, he's celebrating people. He's celebrating because now we have a Sebastian Rogers type of situation. And it doesn't look good in terms of whether or not the case is going to be solved. And as for this woman who claims to have seen the kids, well, she gave that so-called tip on May 31st, almost a month after Jack and Lily disappeared. How is she so sure about the day? She isn't even sure about the age. 9 or 10 years old, she said the girl was. 9 or 10 years old. We're talking about a 6-year-old, and I saw the pictures. She does not look 3 or 4 years older than her age. I disregard that because she could have seen 2 kids if she went by there several times throughout the weeks, throughout the months. She could have seen Jack and Lily in the past. But was it exactly that day? I don't buy into it at all. I completely disregard it. Do you remember that woman who claimed to have seen Sebastian and then called the police? And police told her it's not Sebastian. The boy said, "What the hell is wrong with you? I'm not Sebastian, I'm just a teenager with glasses." And still insists she saw Sebastian that day? May 31st. Put her on the stand. Believe me, the jury's not. Believe me on this one. So I don't care about what came out of this article. at all. I have said it when I analyzed the interview he gave to Kayla. Two things I said. I said, number one, well, we don't know if the polygraph results were in his favor or not. We don't know that. We have his word. But there's a very good chance he actually passed it. Then I heard the questions. Did you kill Jack and Lilly? No. What if one of them, Jack was out, right? Remember? My question was, what did you do to Lilly? You have to ask, did you kill Jack? And then you ask, did you kill Lilly? So I will show it to you again. Well, I showed it at the end of my last video, so I don't have to show you again. And now it seems to me like the statements that police has given are really good for him, really good for Daniel. And I also blame the distraction with Durwood. I believe that the public, the general public, has been misled on purpose and they bought into it. At least enough to pay attention to it. And when the public is so confused, the cops take it easy. That's what we have seen in the case of Sebastian Rogers, right? You have Stephen Fisher versus Ed Knight. By the way, Stephen Fisher, yeah. Now he's at the Emmanuel Harrow location, taking drone footage, making himself useful. But regardless, when the general public is so confused that they argue about insignificancies, and the police has made mistakes that they don't want the public to pay attention to, what do? You have heard how the RCMP spoke. Do you think they're going to go on camera and say, well, we really screwed this up and we think he did it, but we have no evidence, so now we're going to just make a lot of official statements? Belinda is now fighting for guardianship, and I guess that will be her way of being able to get more information, because she does not buy into any of this garbage. A very disappointing article, a little bit better from the Canadian press, where at least they let us know that, Janie, there's something wrong with her polygraph. So could have been inconclusive, could have been who knows what. But either way, it's blamed on her health problems. Maybe she wouldn't sit still. Maybe she just lost her mind there, and they said, I cannot do nothing with this woman. She's not really cooperating, and she blames it on her health. Who knows what happened there? I would love to know what else happened there. So now they give us this long article, and we're supposed to be satisfied with that? Really? Too many inconsistencies, people. Stick to the statements that they give us. Stick to them. Whether it's me analyzing them or you yourself being able to read what you read. So Daniel, of course, now can't wait to get back on camera, because damage control is his purpose. Damage control is what he is there for, what he wants to do. By the way, I will do some lives soon. I like doing them. I didn't do them before, but yesterday I did it when the breaking news came about Emmanuel Harrow. And I figure that's where I'm going to go around the time when most of you guys are going to be online. I believe that this one police officer allowing Daniel to go back out there and remove evidence, in my opinion, was very, very bad. It was a huge mistake. That's why they revisited the pipeline again, the pipeline area, because they knew something was there. But from what I understand, it wasn't a footprint like Sonny Austin said. It was a boot print, right? Or wasn't it? But what I was told is that it was from Lilly. And there was an adult print. Was it Daniel's? By the pipeline area. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. So,
Did Martell.
They've done a full background check as much as they could possibly.
we don't care about a background check, actually. We care about what happened that night. And if your ATV had no GPS system, then what good does you washed the ATV clean? It was shiny and clean. You used the ATV on Thursday night, Daniel. You used that ATV. And when we saw the picture with the ATV, with you and your brother, it had been cleaned. So wherever you went, and it was rainy and it was muddy and let's hear you.
Do, and I mean,
As much as they could possibly, right?
I'm pretty thankful for them. I mean, I'm pretty.
Listen to this. Checked as much as they could possibly. And there we go. They checked as much as they could possibly. They were not able to check everything. That's what he's telling us within this statement. They did as much as they could, but they didn't have enough to work with. And you know that for a fact, because you were careful and then you removed evidence on top of that. Let's listen very carefully.
He passed, and so did Martell.
They've done a full background check as much as they could possibly do.
As much as they could possibly do, and that's it. Thank God they couldn't do more, right? Had they been able to do more, you wouldn't be happy-go-lucky right now.
But I mean, I'm pretty thankful for them.
You are thankful for them. They haven't done their job. They haven't been able to follow the right leads. They let you go in the woods, remove what you had to, in my opinion. So whatever they were doing was as much as they could possibly. And then they were stuck because it wasn't enough to understand what you did and to be able to prove it, even though, in my opinion, they know. They went back there, but they went back there too late. There's a lot of red tape happening here, a lot of delays, and that enabled you, in my opinion, to get away with it. So whatever this particular article may state, yeah, police has been deceptive from day one in their statements, and that's what they do because they don't want the public to know what they're doing. So this is officially how they want to keep it. We failed, and we don't want any more consequences. It's easier to call this a mysterious case and say, oh, well, wow, it's just one of those things, right? Just one of those things, people. In other words, the show is over. Go somewhere else, look somewhere else, and do not bother us.
Spend the time and spend the resources to
Spend the time. They haven't gotten any results, dude. Where are Jack and Lilly? Is that going to enter your language? Is there going to be any concern on your part? It's a very short interview. And maybe it was longer, but maybe they cut out a lot of things because he was just yapping too much.
try to figure out everything.
An extensive search on Martel's property and the surrounding 8.5.
So he couldn't park here. He went to the house on the left. Where? I don't know, at the marsh at the house. He couldn't park there because RCMP was parked there, right? He couldn't find a parking spot that morning. Got you, dude. Look at that. Look how many spaces to park would be here. All over. He didn't want cops to see him when he arrived. And then he went into the woods. And it's a kilometer away at the pipeline. He found his way there. He was picked up later by Justin and Janie with the ATV, and he was dropped back off over there because that's the only place he cared about. And that happened to be also the place where they found the boot prints and they found the blanket nearby. So, that was also the area where police later searched again. Too late. They should have followed him. First of all, they should have either stuck to the instructions and not let him go anywhere out there. Stay put right here. It's one thing to say you treat it like a criminal investigation because whenever there's a missing persons case, we have to do that. But actually doing it is a whole different story. And one of them didn't take it seriously. Officer Oliver allowed him to go back out there. They should have used this opportunity to follow him. Let him lead them to where he is going. Let a drone follow him. Don't aimlessly just go through the woods, more than a kilometer away from where the children were reported to be missing from, or even more than 200 yards. They couldn't have gone that far. They should have followed him from the distance. They should have filmed him, observed him with a drone from the distance. And they see him or his friends not running through the woods, not yelling the children's names, not looking for them all over. A bunch of guys hanging out in one area, only looking there. Should have kicked them out of there and taken over and said, okay, now we will do our search and look on the ground. But you see, they are so worried about everybody has their own little area that they work on, and one hand doesn't know what the other does. They all say, no, you can't go, and then one person says you can go. Oh my goodness, man. See, this is why Daniel does what he does, because he has success in sweet talking people. He knows how to get under some people's skins and annoy them, and then they say, just go for it, man. Do it. Bad situation, man. What's going to come next? That is the question. That is the big question. And there's a chance nothing will come out of it. It's a very good chance. Very good chance. If you knew the right spot to make sure the children will never be seen again, yeah, what we gonna do, man? And nothing about the CPS records, of course. Nothing about the abuse. The kids were sick. He told us that Lily had a black eye like a couple of days or a day before the disappearance, right? Daniel was losing his mind. He was getting cut off welfare. Patty may have cut them off and said, no more money from us. He had an expensive hobby. And before he benefited from the children, financially, he got money for them. But all of a sudden, you have two children. One of them has a voice that sets off the dog. And the other one is the one that you really hated, who is Jack. According to Malaya, she used the words picking on him. He had black eyes all the time. Daniel slapped him upside his face again and again and again. And you can see the thumb pad, the area that got into his eye. He was out of control. Out of control. And Logan, I knew that from you because you said he's proven himself again and again. So I don't care what this stupid article is saying. And of course, Lindsay, the reporter, yeah, she's going with the official statement from police. That's what she has to do. She done great with her first article, but now, well, she's going, taking it down and saying, okay, that's what the cops say. Everybody go home now. This is absolutely insane, man. And this is a Sebastian Reuters case in the making. Because in a Sebastian Reuters case, they allowed that PI to distract people and mislead. And now, in my opinion, it's very similar with Durwood. So Durwood was so obvious to me that I didn't even want to go there. But it worked with the public. The public is confused. It's now turning into a so-called mystery.
Square kilometers has turned up only a few clues. One was a boot print matching Lily's size 11 feet. Another was a pink blanket hanging from a tree found by family members of the children's mother. A piece of blanket was also seized from a garbage bin at the end of the family's driveway.
Let's make very sure what I said before about that. Logan couldn't commit to it being in a bag. It would have been thrown away a week ago, but it was visible when she opened the lid. I believe that blanket was placed there, and let's remember, Daniel called the RCMP for that. Did they not look at the trash before? Did they not look at these things at all? Did they not see it before? Isn't that what you look for? It's a missing children's case that needs to be treated automatically as a criminal case. The trash reveals clues all the time. Why didn't any RCMP person look through the garbage? Or did they? And they didn't see a blanket. Why was it so important to Daniel? Because he wanted to convince us that this blanket had been thrown out already a week ago. I don't believe that. Whatever we saw in the window, could it have been a piece of the blanket? Yeah, it could have been. But what he didn't want people to know is that the night before was when that blanket was used. The same way the two shirts where he later said the Malaya took them, were used. And they were used to transport Jack and Lilly away. So this article from the Globe and Mail, as well as the Canadian press, which was a little bit better, I take it about as seriously as the early statements from RCMP, who made these statements about no suspects and we don't know anything, but at the same time, they told Daniel, we know that you killed Jack and Lilly. Whatever police tells the public, until they make an actual arrest and file official charges and it goes to court, ignore it or analyze it to hear what they're really saying.
Martel says it was
Okay, so this was, and remember, Logan was asked if it was in the bag, and she said, well, the lid was closed. She avoided whether or not it was in the bag. And she said it was right there, visible, when you lifted it. And it was supposed to be thrown away a week before. So they didn't find it. They would have found it had they looked through the trash before. Did they look at it? Did they overlook it? Or did they simply not see it because it wasn't there? I believe it was planted or adjusted, moved somewhere, visible, and then Justin got the camera rolling. So the RCMP came way later. Way later. So to say that they found the blanket, no. Had they gone there early, immediately looked through the trash and said, okay, we found a blanket here, before it was even announced that there was another piece found in the woods, then I would say, yes, they found it. This is a very different story.
same blanket, but it had been ripped apart and thrown out.
I mean, it's mysterious as it is because...
No, it's not mysterious, you idiot. And I've told you guys before, mystery and mysterious, these are words that we use when we can't figure something out and we have given up on our ability to be able to figure it out. Mystery means only it's a case that hasn't been solved yet. That's a placeholder. There's an answer to everything, people. This is not a supernatural occurrence. How did the blanket get there? But the fact of the matter is that he wants to dismiss it as a mystery. So he likes to use dismissive language. Crazy accusations. The mysterious blanket. Oh my God, the mysterious blanket. Oh, what are we going to do about that? It's nothing mysterious. But he's confident the answers will not come. You would want to figure out this mystery, right? If you are the innocent stepfather of 2 missing children, you wouldn't say, it's just a mystery, man. You would say, we need answers. I want to see the lab results. I want to know. I think there must be something important here. Even if you try to explain to us that something's planted, then get to the bottom of things. But he doesn't want that. The fact that he refers to it as a mystery means he wants this to go away. Accept the fact that you will not figure it out. So let's settle on the term mysterious. Same with Sebastian Rogers. I didn't think it was going to go down the same road. I didn't think the RCMP would go down the TBI road. But it seems to be what we're witnessing right now.
The distance from the garbage bin to where the blanket was found is almost 1 kilometer.
RCMP have previously
Yes. So how did it get there? I believe it got there in the middle of the night, Thursday night, Thursday to Friday, Thursday night to Friday morning. Because of you. You are the connecting dot to these two locations. This is where it was found, 1 kilometer from here, where you live. And yes, referring to this as a mystery is also major avoidance of detail. So I've said it before in the case of Sebastian Rogers. Police says, oh my God, we screwed up. What we gonna do now? We missed the evidence. We missed the opportunity. And now we don't want to get in trouble because at the end of the day, law enforcement employees, they have their own families. Seth Rogers said the sheriff's office, they should treat any missing child like their own child, but that's not how reality works. They have their own children, they have their own bills to pay, they have their own concerns, they have their own lives, and at the end of the day, it's just a job that they need to keep because they want to be able to provide a good life for their families. So you can never expect more than somebody's willing and able to give. And you can't live in a dream world either. That police forces are, I don't care how many movies we watched when we were children. Sorry, dude, but these types of heroes, the more you learn, the less, the less, I'm interested in movies actually. Used to love movies. Now, no, man. I like reality. Reality actually is more exciting than any story of fabrication. But when it gets twisted and turned, you see, we don't see the truth. It's named like the John Benet Ramsey case. Very misleading, but the truth is very simple when you get to it. So when you have too many opinion pieces, and now, I guess the Crime and Shame is talking about the article, and I don't even want to tune into anybody's, um, you know, I want to stick to the statements, guys. Stick to the statements. Stick to what they told us and their obvious behavior. You can have a lot of experts there discussing a lot of things. But at the end of the day, all of them want to keep their jobs and make themselves visible. And finding actual answers, it's rare to find people who have that as a priority. So did Daniel Martel get away with it? There's a good possibility he will. But I like to look at the possibilities that are still there. Maybe Justin will tell somebody something, and that person comes forward. That the problem is that all of these people that the people that Daniel's friends with, they're not the types that talk to police. Malaya won't talk. Maybe Justin will tell somebody, but maybe one of those friends who helped him remove evidence, in my opinion, from the pipeline area gets arrested for something really big. And maybe they can ask him, well, you want to do 3 or 4 years in the pen, or you want to tell us what you really did at the pipeline. What do you really know? Of course, you won't be able to go back to your area because these people will not, they will not welcome you with open arms and be nice to you. So there are different rules in different parts of the world, man. And in these isolated areas, people live by their own rules. These country areas out there in Tennessee, these small towns, people know each other. People know people who work for the sheriff's office. And in this particular case, these are people that don't want to be in a big city. They don't want to be seen. They want to be able to do whatever they want to do and be left alone. And should people have a right to do that? Well, it's different when children are involved. When children are involved, everything changes. So just because you like to be up there and, abuse substances and live your life around those accordingly, when it impacts two little children and then they wind up missing, that's a whole different story. Make your make your own, produce your own substances, use them, whatever, as long as you don't hurt me. This is how I stand, right? If you don't hurt anybody, but if something leads you to hurting other people, then you cannot say, this was a contributing factor. I did it because I was drunk. I did it because I was high. None of that. Because the moment children are there, and these kids didn't choose to live there, and that lifestyle had nothing to do with theirs. They were little kids. Your mommy let you do whatever you wanted to do on your property, but she didn't let the kids do what they wanted to do. She didn't let the kids be kids, but she let degenerate adults be what they want to be and do what they want to do, in my opinion. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Everything I'm stating are my own thoughts or opinions, if you feel more comfortable with this term. But this is a real kicker, man. This is really, really the worst case scenario for me to consider, that this case is going to grow cold. But let's see what else we got.
Said Lilly's blanket was sent for forensic analysis. To date, police have received 740 tips.
Well, what are the results? Are they going to reveal them? Remember what I showed you guys about the John Benet Ramsey case. The deceptive statement from the district attorney after the grand jury voted to indict John and Patsy Ramsey. And then no charges were filed, passive language, trying to make it sound like it was a grand jury's decision. And then nothing. Nothing. We don't get to the evidence. So are they going to reveal to us what the results were when you examined the blanket forensically? Or are we going to be left to guess? You see, the bottom line is they're not doing their job correctly. On several levels, they haven't done that. They've made huge mistakes, in my opinion. This is only my opinion, of course. And the last thing that they want is to get in trouble for it. The last thing Officer Oliver wants is to be told, you are the reason this dude is free. That's why he is so thankful to Officer Oliver. I can't thank him enough. I can never give that much guy enough credit because okay, let me read it the way that I know he tried to spell it, right? Until an officer dressed in military gear gave me the green light to re-enter the woods. He said, "Go for it." I still remember it, said Oliver on the back of his vest. I can never give that guy, and he uses much and enough. So he doubles down in terminology when it comes to how much credit this guy deserves. But what does he deserve credit for? Because you going out there didn't bring Jack and Lilly back. But there were results, and you were given green light, and you were able to go back to your destination, which is a pipeline area. Being that thankful, you see, every other officer said no. Yes, they followed their orders. Don't let this guy go back out there. There may be some evidence, and he may get rid of it. And if you think he needs to go, at least say, okay, follow him. Let's get a drone. Let's see where he's going. Let's let him lead us. These are not Sherlock Holmes types, man. They made huge mistakes here, guys. Huge mistakes. And I love seeing people watch my last video, and the fact that you guys come to me whenever something new comes and you're searching for the real answers, not these official statements from police as we have heard them from the very beginning, where, deceptive language is expected. Deceptive language is expected when you have a press conference and you have a spokesperson for a company or a politician, or, it's expected to hear deceptive language and for them to hide certain things, sometimes for the good, for the right reason, but sometimes for the wrong reason. That's why deception detection is not enough. Intention detection is what matters. So now, hearing what they will say is more likely going to reveal a new intention, a variation. Intention is everything. Like the way society is moving is that people pay more attention to terminologies and words, but not the intentions behind using certain words. And it moves into all areas of our lives where we are more focused on how somebody comes off than, what their message is, if there's even one. But this is something we need to keep in mind at all times, the Plaid system. And the one area never to move away from is intentions. And if you go through this list, you will probably find priorities very quickly. Leakage? Yep. It can be on a high level, a high magnitude of leakage. It can also be very subtle, and it can be bits and pieces, such as surf effort instead of search effort from Malaya. Avoidances, they come pretty clear. Chris Proudfoot has taught us that, right? Okay. Then intentions we may get stuck on, unless you're highly intuitive and you already pick up on the right keys. Deception is a lot easier to detect, and sensitivities, well, sensitivities is an area that I've added because there are things that we need to be able to point out without being able to determine yet. Is it an avoidance? Is it deception? What is it exactly? So when a statement shows sensitivities, you underline it or you mark it or you mark the timestamp and you leave it there and you allow yourself to get back to it later, because then it can easily fall into one of the different categories other than that. But you cannot overlook it. This way you are not forced to do a quick one and get, form an opinion already when you should say, I just don't know. As I've said in my last life, one of my favorite things to say is, I don't know. Most people have a problem with that, right? You ask somebody for directions, they don't know, but they don't want to look stupid, and they make up something and send you in the wrong directions. Well, this is how life is, but for me, it's a wonderful thing to say, I don't know, but I'm going to know. I'm going to find out. So again, I'm actually happy that on top of this article, Daniel feels the need to come on camera again. And he may not tell us that much now, but he already told us that they did the best that they can, but they cannot do it. Because he knows what is possible to them and what is really there and what they have overlooked.
And more than 9,300 videos, and say a tremendous amount of careful, deliberate investigation.
All of a sudden, they're fixing this place up, right? All of a sudden, they're like, I mean, it looks crappy regardless, but all of a sudden, they're putting all this effort here into this property.
Deliberate investigative work is ongoing to locate Lilly and Jack. Angela McIver, CBC News, Halifax.
Okay. So here he is demonstrating. And here he is feeling a lot better than before. And, well, the fact that Lily, that she wanted Cody to be seen as a suspect, that also cannot be ignored. And that was on Malaya's part. Because Cody wanted nothing to do with her and sadly nothing to do with his own children. But that's what it is. Malaya knew Cody wouldn't abduct the kids. But she lied for a reason. So regardless of what the official statements are going to be and how happy Daniel Martel is with those, let's not lose focus and solve the case on our own. I'm Mike the Man, and I'll see you next time.